So the place where electrical power produced by parallel connected three-phase alternator generators is called generating station. We are clear. Ordinary generating voltage may be 11 kV, 11.5, 12 kV or 13 kV. But it is economically good to step up the produced voltage from 11.5 to 132, 220 or 500 kV or maybe greater. It depends upon the practices of country, but unfortunately or fortunately we have upper limit of only 500 kV AC transmission line in Pakistan. So now as I cleared primary transmission, this electric power supply in 132 kV, 220 kV, 500 kV or greater, but I again repeat that we have upper limit of 500 kV in Pakistan is transmitted to load center by three-phase, three-wire overhead transmission. Remember, power transmission is carried through three-phase, three-wire system, no fourth wire so far. Now comes secondary transmission. Area far from the cities, outskirts, which have connected with receiving station by line is called secondary transmission line. Like your cities, like your Khairpur, they are connected with secondary transmission line. At receiving station, the level of voltage is reduced by step down transformer up to 132 kV, 66 kV or 33 kV. Or and electric power is transmitted by three-phase, three-wire overhead transmitter to different substation. So this is a secondary transmission. So you remember again, either you are using 132, 220, 500, 66, 33. This is all through three-phase, three-wire system. No fourth wire. Three-phase, four-wire system is valid for only distribution system. And distribution, secondary distribution, even not for primary distribution of 11 kV. Now there is a primary distribution at a substation. The level of secondary transmission voltage 132, 66 or 32 is reduced to 11 kV by step down transformers. So generally electric supply is given to those heavy consumers with demand is 11 kV. It is always, you remember that 11 kV is not only for distribution of power and for domestic uses, even the heavy consumers, the smaller cottage industries may ask, may demand for 11 kV power supply directly. Then they have their own distribution system. So you can see that the Bahria town in Karachi, it receives bulk power from directly from Sindh government or from the K Electric or whatever. They have exclusive and dedicated power station in Nuriabad of I think 100 megawatts. This 100 megawatt power is directly transmitted to Bahria town, and they have their own distribution system inverts in their premises and location. So you remember that even 33 kV, 66 kV or 11 kV can be directly purchased by bulk consumers, industries directly, and then they have their own distribution system inside. So you remember. So this is your primary transmission distribution system, and then we have a secondary distribution. So secondary distribution does nothing, but there is a substation again. It is connected with 11 kV feeder, and then after these lines come. Which lines? Three phase, four wire. Fourth wire is your neutral wire. So phase to neutral, phase to neutral, phase to neutral or phase to phase voltage. So your 11 kV will be converted into 420 oblique 220 or 30. If your line voltage is 4, phase to phase voltage means line voltage 430 or simply phase to neutral 220 or 30. This is actual bifurcation or in between primary transmission, secondary transmission, primary distribution and secondary distribution. It depends upon why we have classified, why we have such classification. It depends upon the capacities and the requirements of your substations in between your generating station up to load centers. So you have different types of substations in between. They step up, step down. step down till you are supplied a power of a certain capacity, but with a voltage rating of 230 at your home or in your home premises. This is now very clear, so no need to generating station, and this is transmission line. When we have primary transmission, so your primary transmission is again reduced to 132, 66 or 33 kV, 132, and then your secondary transmission upside or uski capacity 130. Secondary, I remember again I'm going to repeat. Primary transmission 220 and 500 kV. May it includes 132. Secondary transmission 66 and 32. It may include 132. Primary distribution only 11 kV. Secondary distribution only 430, 420 or 230. So you remember why I am including both 132 in primary and secondary transmission. It depends upon the practices of your utility. If they include 132 in primary transmission, say okay. If they say no, I include only 420, I have 220 and 500 kV in primary transmission, and I include 130 in secondary transmission, then okay. This picture is actually showing you that 132 is added in secondary transmission. So this may be the requirement of some bulk customer, that it needs, it require this 132 power supply. This also the way how we classify primary transmission, secondary transmission